A very impressive diving spot can be found near the coast of Genua, in the north of Italy. One of the largest wrecks in the history of mankind can be found here. The oil tanker is named MT Haven, formerly known as Amoco Milford Haven. In 1991, while loaded with 1 million barrels of crude oil, the ship exploded, caught fire and sank off the coast of Genua, killing 6 Cypriot crew and flooding the Mediterranean with lots of crude oil. It broke into 2 pieces and sank after burning for 3 days. Today, the wreck is an ideal diving spot for technical divers. Technical diving involves more advanced techniques, equipment, and training to allow divers to explore deeper depths, longer dive times, and challenging underwater environments. The MT Haven lies at a depth of 33 to 83 meters. The 250-meter-long main section of the oil tanker peacefully lies in an upright position. Part of the superstructure, which originally reached up to 24 meters of depth, were removed. Therefore, the shallowest part of the entire wreck, the smokestack, now stands at 33 meters deep. Techdive's huge inflatable boat will transport you to the mooring point in 5 minutes. The shot lines are fixed and lead you down at 33 meters depth. The dimensions of the wreck are overwhelming. From the wheelhouse, the captain maneuvered the tanker. It is almost empty. It contains no instruments or controls as everything was burned away in the very high temperatures before sinking. There is now a memorial plate and 2 statues of the Virgin Mary. There are 6 different bridges about 23 meters high, the equivalent of a 7-floor building. Here you will find everything a ship's crew need: bedrooms, bathrooms, the kitchen, a workroom, a tool room, etc. It is possible and quite easy to penetrate almost everywhere, but it is a labyrinth and you should consider it as a cave dive. The smokestack is monumental at almost 30 meters high. The exhaust ducts are so large that penetration is easy, although it is of no interest. A fixed rope connects the chimney with the bridge, which facilitates the return in case of strong currents or low visibility. From the bridge downwards, divers can go to the deck in the back of the tanker, past the winches, pipes and valves that are proportional to the size of the ship, and free fall down to the propeller at 82 meters. Here excessiveness still strikes with a rudder that is 20 meters high and a propeller that is more than 7 meters in diameter. The depth is maximal, but this place is breathtaking, and looking up from this point, the tanker is majestic. The engine room entrance is located just under the chimney below 52 meters. The cathedral-type engine room is home to the 8-cylinder 980mm bore and 2000mm stroke diesel engine, developing 30,400 horsepower at 103 RPM. The various electrical panels and counters are still intact. Going up on port side, there is a gigantic opening left by one of the 2 explosions. The hole is so large that it is difficult to comprehend its dimensions, and the plates are twisted like a broken can. Penetration through the hole in one of the 13 tanks that contain the crude oil is possible and easy, progressing into a huge metal cave. At the other end, a few dozen meters away, a staircase leading to a trapdoor allows you to exit directly onto the deck. A scooter is essential as swimming 200 meters at an average depth of 60 meters can be long and dangerous. Starting from the bridge, you have 200 meters of flight straight in front of you towards the break at the front. Littered with pipes, giant valves, and cranes, this drive is a treat for fans of long scooter rides. When you reach the end of the deck, where the boat is broken into two parts, an immense net rests on the full width and falls on the openings left by the explosion. You can then either return to the deck or a bit below, to the side along the hull. Life is steadily starting to return to the wreck. Aided by currents and the burning away of the paint and anti-fouling layers, some walls and the deck are covered with large, sturdy oysters, brightly colored sea anemones and other interesting life forms like all the filter-feeding creatures such as crinoids and ascidians. Around the wreck, in addition to the clouds of anthias fish, it is common to see large pelagic fishes swimming on their way. Diving at the Haven can be hosted by a few dive centers in Arenzano. Diving on the wreck is meant for trained and experienced divers, because of the depths and changing circumstances of the dive location. Depending on the day, the current can go from nothing to strong. The visibility can change from a perfect 60+ meters to a very poor 5 meters. It is a giant labyrinth inside the wreck, where one can easily get lost. Like in any cave system, this particular system has sharp metal cutting edges too, and huge amounts of silt that can turn water into milk-like and trap you and prevent you to get to the surface. The wreck is huge and deep, and you can lose your orientation as well as your notion of time and gas consumption. Diving at the Haven is a great experience. You can make many dives on the wreck and still see and experience different things every time again. The MT Haven, formerly named Amoco Milford Haven, is a VLCC-class oil tanker. A very large crude carrier, in other words a supertanker. It was built by Astilleros Españoles SA in Cadiz, Spain. The MT Haven was the sister ship of the Amoco Cadiz, which sank in 1978 and polluted the Atlantic coast off France for decades. The Haven was incredibly big, 334 meters long with a beam of 51 meters and a displacement tonnage of 110,000 tons. Launched in 1973, the ship worked various routes, shipping crude oil from the Middle East Gulf. In 1987 it was hit by a missile in the Persian Gulf during the Iran-Iraq War. Extensively refitted in Singapore, it was then sold to shipbrokers who leased it to Trudeau's Shipping, for whom it ran from Iran's Karg Island to the Mediterranean. On the 11th of April, 1991, Haven was unloading a cargo of 230,000 tons of crude oil to the Multido floating platform, 11 kilometers off the coast of Genua, Italy. Having transferred 80,000 tons, the ship disconnected from the platform for a routine internal transfer operation, to allow oil to be pumped from two side holds into a central one. In later testimony, First Officer Donatos Lilly said, "I heard a very loud noise, like iron bars beating against each other. Perhaps the cover of a pump had broken. Then there was an awful explosion. 5 crew members died immediately, as fire broke out and oil started leaking from the hull as the plates overheated. As the fire engulfed the ship, flames rose 100 meters high and, after a series of further explosions occurred, between 30 and 40,000 tons of oil poured into the sea. The Italian authorities acted quickly, with hundreds of men fighting a fire which was difficult to access, and distributing more than 10 kilometers of inflatable barriers, submerged a meter below the surface, around the vessel to control the spillage. On day 2, the MT Haven was to be towed close to the coast, in a bid to reduce the coastal area affected and make intervention easier. As the bow slipped beneath the surface, a steel cable was passed around the rudder and tugs applied towing pressure. But it was quickly clear that the ship had broken its back, and the bow section came to rest in 450 meters of water. On the 14th of April, the 250 meters long main body sank 2 kilometers from the coast, between Arenzano and Cogoleto. After the wreck was declared safe, a mini-sub diver found that the stern section had grazed a rocky spur, though not hard enough to open any new holes in the hull, and come to rest at an angle on the flat, sandy seabed. Most of the oil on the surface could be sucked up, and what remained below was in a solid state. For the next 12 years the Mediterranean coast of Italy and France was polluted, especially around Genua and southern France. The sinking of the MT Haven remains the worst oil pollution incident ever to occur in the Mediterranean Sea. The vessel owner Stelios Hadjiioannou and his father were prosecuted in Italy in both 1997 and 1998 on charges including manslaughter, extortion, and attempting to bribe a witness following the sinking. They were cleared, and the sinking was blamed on human error rather than negligence. Arenzano is a small town and commune located in the Liguria region of northwest Italy. It is situated on the Italian Riviera, specifically along the coast of the Ligurian Sea. Arenzano is part of the metropolitan city of Genua and is approximately 20 kilometers west of the city of Genoa. The town of Arenzano is known for its picturesque coastal setting, with beautiful beaches and a scenic promenade. It has a population of around 12,000 residents and is a popular tourist destination, particularly during the summer months when visitors come to enjoy the beach, waterfront activities, and the pleasant Mediterranean climate. In addition to its natural beauty, Arenzano features a charming historic center with narrow streets, old buildings, and a medieval tower known as Torre dei Poveri. Arenzano is well connected to other parts of Italy and can be reached by road or train. Its location on the Ligurian coast makes it a convenient base for exploring the surrounding coastal areas, and nearby attractions such as Genua and Portofino. We stayed at the Hotel Poggio, with all necessary facilities and a swimming pool as well.